Future Queen Consort Camilla has spoken out in a rare interview about her life with Prince Charles. She shared how she has learned to handle years of criticism while living in the royal spotlight. Tensions inside the royal family have reached a breaking point. A heated secret fight between Queen Camilla and Duchess Kate has caused shockwaves through the palace. Prince William has taken a step no one expected, shaking the monarchy to its core. Sources say voices were raised, accusations were tossed, and Camilla left the scene in tears. What happened afterward stunned even palace staff. William has now reportedly banned Camilla for life. This could mark the final break in the royal family. Get ready, because this royal saga is unlike anything seen before. The British monarch has officially approved Camilla becoming queen consort when Charles becomes king. But behind palace walls, a deep divide grew. It wasn't caused by scandal or wrongdoing, but by pride, power, and a personal feud that finally boiled over. At first, no one noticed the change. A missed handshake here, an awkward silence there. But when Camilla was quietly removed from all future events with Princess Kate and the Wales children, everyone knew something was wrong. The change wasn't announced, yet it was clear. William's decision wasn't about politics or protocol. It was personal and final. Camilla would no longer stand with Princess Kate, whether in private or at formal events. One day she was the queen consort walking proud at big occasions. The next day she was nowhere to be seen with Kate or her children. There had long been whispers of tension between Camilla and Kate. Most thought it was just the usual royal stress, but it turned out the friendship was strained from years of small snubs, cold looks, and quiet jealousy. Palace staff had tried to smooth things over. Still, one big fight behind closed doors was enough to destroy the relationship completely. Sources say William acted quickly and without hesitation. Even Andrew never faced such a direct and personal ban from royal life. For King Charles, the damage was hard to bear. His wife was furious and humiliated, and his son's trust might be broken for good. Camilla now stands as a quiet symbol of disgrace, shut out from the circle she once fought hard to join. Meanwhile, Kate stays calm and steady, never stepping out of line. Her silence speaks louder than words. Beneath Catherine's composure and Camilla's charm, unseen tension quietly reshaped the royal family. Stay with us to uncover what's really going on behind palace walls. To the public, things seemed normal. Just polite photos, fake smiles, and routine conversations between senior royals. But those moments hid years of growing resentment and hidden wounds. Insiders say the tension had been building for over 10 years. Camilla, hardened by years of public scrutiny and the weight of Diana's legacy, never truly accepted Kate. After fighting her way into the spotlight as the villain in Charles and Diana's story, Camilla saw Kate's popularity as a threat. Kate's simple background, perfect image, and calm strength made her a favorite across the country. Camilla thought it came too easy, too unearned. Former staff say they heard subtle jokes and snide remarks, criticizing Kate's middle-class manners and her family's party-planning business. Camilla allegedly said with a sneer during a tense moment, "She knows how to smile for the cameras," her voice full of sarcasm and envy. Privately, she dismissed the Middleton family as tacky and unimportant. She drew a line between herself and the woman who might become queen someday. But Kate stayed silent and focused on her duties, motherhood, and keeping her dignity. She once told a friend, "We're here to serve, not fight," even as Camilla's dismissive attitude wore her down. The strain was more than personal. It became a matter of strategy. After Charles became king in 2022, Camilla's influence skyrocketed. Suddenly, her family was everywhere, at events, seated close to senior royals, and included in official ceremonies. Their presence blurred the line between royals by blood and those by marriage. What bothered Kate most was Camilla's push to include her grandchildren in official events, even before Harry and Meghan's children, Archie and Lilibet. To Kate, the move seemed planned, a quiet shuffle of royal power. She had fought hard to keep her children's images and roles intact. Watching Camilla try to boost her bloodline within the royal family hit a nerve. It wasn't about appearances anymore. It was about legacy, who would succeed, and hidden influence. In Kate's view, Camilla crossed a line she couldn't forgive. As silence stretched between them, something more dangerous started to grow. A silent war for influence was happening, not with titles, but through whispers. When everything unraveled, their simmering feud turned into a war of images, played out in subtle headlines and slanted stories. Royal reporters close to Camilla began to shift the story. Kate, once the media favorite, was now seen as too controlled, too perfect, more act than person. On the other hand, Camilla was painted as the wise, steady matriarch, an experienced voice of reason inside the palace. One article even compared Camilla's real-world wisdom to Kate's carefully managed charm, sparking online outrage. Palace staff scrambled to fix the damage, but it was too late. The harm had already spread. Still, William and Kate refused to rise to the challenge. They stuck to their duty, ignoring the drama. No statements, no retaliation, just silence. Behind the scenes, there were efforts to repair the rift. Private invites, coordinated joint events, attempts to ease the tension. Yet nothing seemed to work fully. Deep inside, Camilla couldn't shake her bitterness. She felt Kate had won the public's love without much suffering. Kate, always composed, was tiring of the quiet war. Then it finally broke point. The next incident was different. It seemed manageable. She admitted feeling emotional singing there, as it was an incredible venue. The meeting was scheduled like any other, a planning session at Clarence House in early 2023. They wanted to finalize upcoming appearances. King Charles, Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Princess Catherine sat at a long table. The talk began with basic updates, state visits, charity events, trips abroad. Then they discussed a joint event with the King, Queen, and the Wales. Camilla suddenly leaned back and asked flatly, "Do we really need Catherine there?" The room went silent. Kate, surprised but calm, asked for clarification. Camilla, unbothered, smirked and said, "People come to see the king, not a fashion show." Gasps were quickly swallowed. Silence froze in the room. Then came the moment that shattered the fragile peace completely. Camilla leaned forward, her voice calm and precise, just like Diana's. Everyone knew that name was sacred, especially around William. It wasn't just a tease, it was an attack. Kate stood up, her voice trembling but stern. That woman would never speak to her again. With no warning, she turned and left. William followed, his jaw clenched tight, eyes burning with anger. Camilla stayed still, but the atmosphere changed. Something unspoken had been broken, and it couldn't be repaired. As William's words echoed through the room, everyone wondered if the royal family's unity was truly shattered. Stay tuned to see what happens next. The quiet storm that changed everything. Charles stepped in, trying to hold the peace, but his words went unheard. William, no longer calm and measured, was now a furious son and dedicated husband. He made himself very clear. "You insulted my wife. You disrespected my mother. Don't expect us to come back." There was no debate, no retreat, just a statement that ended the fragile peace inside the palace. The meeting fell apart in chaos. Tense glances were exchanged. Phones buzzed nonstop. Emergency talks started quickly. One advisor said the mood was like nuclear war. Behind closed doors, staff rushed to cancel speeches, change appearances, and quietly remove Camilla from any event the Wales family attended. "We always feared this day," one official said, but no one thought it would fall apart so fast in one afternoon. Back at Kensington Palace, away from the chaos, Catherine finally let her feelings out. It wasn't just the insult, it was years of holding in comments, staying graceful, and quiet patience. The tension had been eating her inside. Now the line had been crossed. William saw it too. For the first time, he changed. He became sharp, clear, cold, and firm. He didn't need the king's permission or applause. After talking with his trusted advisors, William made a firm, historic order. From this moment, Queen Camilla was banned from any contact, official or informal, with William's wife or children. There would be no joint events, no behind-the-scenes talks, no photos, dinners, or family holidays. She remained officially close to the king, yet she was now completely shut out of the Wales family's world. News of the change spread fast through royal channels. Schedules were changed, internal messages rerouted, and plans carefully adjusted in private. The media didn't see the cracks. Inside, the palace was quietly adjusting to a major shift. For William, this was more than personal. It was about protecting Kate, his children, and his mother's memory. Her legacy had just been turned into something painful and damaging. This was no simple disagreement. It was a line drawn in stone, with no turning back. But as the palace worked to adapt, many wondered if King Charles was facing a family feud or a shift in the royal legacy itself. Stay tuned to see what happens. This upheaval shocked the royal family. Insiders say the king was devastated. He tried to reach his oldest son multiple times after the explosive meeting at Clarence House. Each time, he was met with silence or brief, cold replies. The pain wasn't just about the rift with William. It was the realization that the public had now taken William and Catherine's side. Within 2 days, news from the palace was already spreading fast. Headlines blazed. Queen Camilla pushed out of the Wales circle. The future king makes a firm stand. Catherine stays safe after the royal fight. Social media picked up on it too. Hashtags like "Protect Catherine and Not My Queen" quickly gained traction on TikTok and Instagram. For once, royal fans didn't take sides. They praised William for staying calm. They saw his actions as measured, not dramatic. One expert said he simply made a quiet choice about the royal future. That choice, to exclude Camilla from family events, was more than symbolic. It changed who had power in the royal family. Camilla, once seen as Charles's biggest win over tradition, was now sidelined with precision. For Charles, it felt like years of effort were falling apart in just hours. He had spent years trying to win the public's favor for Camilla. He had fought through scandal, criticism, and comparisons to Diana. Her acceptance as queen consort was meant to be his redemption story. It was supposed to show that love, Even tricky love could win in the end. But now, that story lay broken. Sources say he hoped it was just a misunderstanding. He believed William's reaction was only emotional and temporary. Charles asked for a private talk, trying to reason with his son. That meeting, however, turned out to be one of the hardest moments of his reign. They discussed duty, unity, and public appearances. William, however, focused on boundaries, love, loyalty, and the pain his wife had suffered. "She disrespected my wife. She disrespected my mother. There's no going back from that," William reportedly said. His voice stayed calm and steady. He didn't need to raise it. Even Catherine, graceful and composed, couldn't change William's mind. When Charles reached out softly, hoping her calm might help, she stayed kind but firm. Charles then found himself caught between two falling worlds, one built on history and compromise, the other led by a son who refused to ignore the truth. Behind palace walls, Camilla's anger only grew. Her silence felt like a deeper betrayal than any words. The public's reaction was swift. Feeling pushed aside and misunderstood, she demanded Charles stand up for her. To her, William's choice was more than just family drama. It was public shame and a betrayal of all she and Charles fought for. She accused the king of letting Diana's shadow return through Catherine. But Charles, stuck between duty and loyalty, said nothing. No interviews, no statements, no official word from the palace, just silence. And silence can speak loudly. Privately, aides started seeing small but troubling changes in Charles. His once steady routines became unpredictable. Evening dinners and walks were cancelled. His mood seemed distant. His warm words turned cold. One insider said, "He looked like a man falling apart." For Charles, the truth hit hard. William and Catherine were not just liked, they were needed. Without them, the monarchy felt fragile and exposed. In a world full of quick news and changing favor, their image kept hope alive. Now his wife, once seen as rebellious, was seen as a problem he no longer could hide. The Queen Consort's mistake set off something much bigger than personal hurt. It sparked a movement. Word of the fight spread outside Clarence House quickly. The public responded clearly and without hesitation. Social media turned into a battleground for loyalty. Hashtags like "I'll stand with Kate," "How our future queen," and "You art my queen" trended across platforms. Camilla's name was everywhere. One viral tweet said, "They silenced Diana. Now they're trying it with Kate. We choose the future," and it was shared over 150,000 times. Editorials grew sharper overnight, no longer cautious. Headlines announced, "Camilla's influence crumbles after clash with Catherine." The Wales family rose, while the Queen Consort faded from view. It wasn't just public opinion anymore. It felt like a public judgment. Polls confirmed the shift. An impressive 82% supported William's decision to exclude Camilla from family affairs. Nearly 90% praised Catherine's calm and saw her as the most admired royal since Queen Elizabeth II. What started as a secret royal fight was now shaping how the world saw the crown. For Camilla, the effects became very real. Behind palace walls, tensions grew. Why did Catherine's silence turn public loyalty so strongly? Stay tuned to learn what changed everything and how Catherine redefined her role. Royal watchers had seen many palace dramas, but nothing prepared them for the quick and total change in public opinion. One expert summed it up perfectly. Kate didn't speak, but her silence was louder than any words Camilla could have said. That silence spoke volumes. The people's reaction was clear. They didn't just see her as next in line, they already saw her as their queen, not by blood, but by the love of the people. As trouble grew inside the palace, Camilla quietly withdrew from upcoming events. Official reasons were given: health issues, tiredness, busy schedules, but most didn't believe them. Meanwhile, Catherine kept working smoothly. She visited children's hospitals, supported mental health projects, and stood before crowds with her usual warmth. She always smiled, staying calm and confident. The crowds responded strongly each time. They cheered her name, children reached out to her, and signs said, "Our Queen." Even behind closed doors, the mood inside the palace had changed. Insiders called it a clear shift of power. Staff members who once stayed neutral now openly support the Wales household. Senior aides started calling Catherine more than just a title. They saw her as the calming force of the royal family. Whispers spread among them, ideas that just months earlier would have been unthinkable. If Catherine had been queen already, this crisis would never have happened. It's about understanding what this situation really is and how we can support ourselves and each other through it. Once seen as a strong royal, Camilla's image began to fall apart. Satirical shows revived old scandals, and documentaries about Diana aired again. Headlines became harsher, marking a clear shift away from her as a misunderstood figure. Camilla's presence in the royal spotlight faded. Every time Catherine appeared in public, she wasn't just doing her duties. She was showing a quiet strength that spoke volumes. No speeches or interviews were necessary. Her grace, dignity, and loyalty to her family stood out. She stayed calm and didn't fight back or seek revenge. Instead, she stayed firm, letting the world see who she really was. The British monarchy relies on two weak pillars: symbolism and trust. Right now, both are crumbling beneath Camilla, but growing stronger behind Catherine. Prince William's choice to exclude Queen Camilla from their future wasn't about politics. It was based on principles. He didn't hold a press conference or create a fuss. Instead, he made his stance clear. He said, "You insulted my wife. You brought up my mother. You have no place in our lives anymore." It was a personal decision with big national meaning. Camilla was once tolerated as a tough compromise on Charles's journey to the throne. Now she is seen as someone the monarchy can no longer keep around. Her ties to the Wales family have been cut, not because of scandal, but by choice, not due to public outrage, but through quiet dismissal. For the first time, she feels powerless. Her influence is gone, her reputation damaged, and her role reduced to mere appearances. She has no clear future in the monarchy anymore. Meanwhile, King Charles faces a hard truth he did not expect. After years of trying to change public opinion about the woman he loves, he faces a stark reality. The palace he built silently moved on without him. His wife, once his strength, has become a division between past and future. His son, the future king, no longer waits for permission to lead. He is already doing it. Catherine, once unsure because of her middle-class background, now stands firm. She never needed to seek praise. It came naturally. Power was never demanded, but given to her. To the public, she's no longer just William's wife or Diana's successor. She's become the calm center of the crown. For many, she already is the queen they wanted. Camilla will still appear with Charles in ceremonies, but her role, once hard-fought, has quietly shrunk. not because of orders, but because of the truth. As the royal scene changes, the message is clear. The future belongs to Catherine. What does this quiet shift mean for the future of the monarchy? We want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.